Game, set, match.
Welcome to your daily serve of M&Ms
with
Michael
and Maria. We finally got there eventually.
I know, I was actually going to completely fuck that one up again.
Yeah, okay. You know.
I'm glad I've got you.
Glad I got you.
This week's episode of your daily serve of M&Ms, we've got a fair bit to talk about.
Yeah, but it's going to be fairly short.
Yeah,
we're going to kind of a big day. So.
Yeah, been a big day, and and
it's also really late and had training in the morning.
Yeah, that, and I guess, I don't know, we've kind of been getting carried away a bit with some of these longer segments and stuff, so we'll try not to have too many arguments today.
Yeah. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Nah, you can start. I like it when you start.
Okay, so
gives me a chance to chill out.
Cricket first. Okay, so in the Big Bash League, Melbourne Stars stand-in skipper Adam Zampa has made a shock move to request a trade to crosstown rivals, the Melbourne Renegades.
And who's this from?
This is from like the cricket. Like Cricket Australia itself, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like the app.
Good.
Website.
Just making sure that we're not, stealing someone else's words, That'd be like plagiarism or something, right? Mrs. Journalism.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so Adam Zampa, right? He's a spin bowler. He's one of my favourites. So I was like, look, I knew I liked him.
Pardon me. Leave that in.
Yeah, I do like Adam Zampa, so I'm like, I hope it happens, but like, who are we going to trade? That's the issue. Who knows? But yeah, definitely it's shocking. It's like, you never think you'd want to, have a trade to your rivals.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Other news.
I always like a division, or not a division, but just a rivalry trade. It's great.
So in other cricket news.
Yeah.
So in for the men's cricket we have the IPL, which is the Indian Premier League.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like the Big Bash League, but except it's bigger. So we have, this is the first year, we have the WPL, Women's Premier League for cricket.
Okay.
Right, which is really exciting. So they had the auction the same day as the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so Ashley Garner pocketed $558,000 with nearly $2.5 million spent on 14 Australians in the first ever Women's Premier League auction. So, like, Ashley Garner, that's the biggest payday of her career so far. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's not bad.
$500,000.
Yeah, honestly.
Something like that. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. It's definitely exciting for her.
It's very, because in India, so what they want to do is, so after we have the Olympics here in 2032,
yeah,
I think it is, India wants to bid for the next one. And because India's big with cricket, they want to push to have cricket in the Olympics. And India has already so this is sort of in their grand scheme of things, right? So they've already made cricket a equal paying for both their men's and women's team.
Okay.
So they pay the men's and women's team equally. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is just another step forward into trying to making it, more equal.
Yeah, look.
I mean, it's India. They love their cricket regardless, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know if I'm really sold on the whole equal pay thing, but...
No, I mean, I feel like I listened to this. It's like, I feel like when it comes to women's sports, it sort of feels like a charity. Sometimes.
A charity?
Yeah, that's what it feels like sometimes. Women's sports.
Can you explain that? I don't even know what you mean by charity.
It's like when you have the advertisings for like men's sports versus women's sports. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a whole different level.
I don't know if I've really paid attention to the advertising.
It's okay. Because it's like, I never know when the women's cricket is playing, but there's always ads for the men's cricket. You know what I'm saying? The only time I ever saw women's cricket being advertised more was when they had the the women's, I think, T20 World Cup final on International Women's Day.
See, I feel like I've seen... I feel like it just depends on the level of interest. Like, I feel like people probably are more interested in, like, the domestic BBL more so than, like, Test cricket. I don't think people really watch Test cricket. Like, I know
but the
you
women's
do.
don't even really play Test cricket, though. They're more T21 days.
Yeah, okay, same thing, right? Okay, like, I think here in Australia, right, like, the cricketing fans prefer to watch BBL. They want it over and done in a day, right? Like, I don't want to go to a sport that I have to go to 5 back-to-back days to. That's just shit, right? I'd rather go one day, bam, it's done.
I feel like you're missing my point there.
No, but, like, in the sense that I've seen a lot more women's Big Bash League promos than probably I have... I mean, probably actually it's the same, I'd say.
But I'm talking about international.
International, I don't even know.
Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I always know when the men's are playing, but I don't really know when the women's are playing.
And maybe that is the case, but I don't know. And I don't know if it's because it's not advertised on commercial TV, which I watch because I'm cheap.
Cheap.
Cheap. But do you know what I'm saying, though? Like,
Kinda, not really.
I think the women's and men's promotion for the BBL here in Australia is pretty much the same.
Yeah, because the same company, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it's the same, like, league committee, basically, right?
But I feel like... But it's like the same with the AFL and AFLW. Like, so, like, there was, like... By the time that was the first round of men's AFL was the grand final of the women's, but that was no news.
Yeah, no, I do remember
of the
that.
AFL grand final ever, and I'm just like, that's a bit rude if you ask me. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know, but at the same time,
like, you know,
I still make my stand that it's not a real sport.
Like, I know that AFL is probably bigger, but at least give some news and inform people that, you know, what's happening in the finals. It's the finals. It's not like some other round. It's the grand final. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, was it... I don't remember it that well. Was it... Like, I feel like if it was women's grand final on the same day as day one, like, not day one, but like the kickoff game, basically, right? Like the premiership start of the premiership season, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I can understand that you promote that one more.
Yeah, but let's give it a little bit of promotion. Do you know what I'm saying?
If it's like one of the, you know, other week one games that isn't early in the week or any of that crap, you know how like they do a week one game on like Thursday night?
Yeah.
It's like Thursday night footy, it kicks off the season.
Yeah.
Like, I get people want to watch that. Right?
Yeah.
But if it's like just a midday Saturday game, like, shit, just put it on TV and promote the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a little bit, you know... Anyway, I feel like a part of women's sport that could be worked on is the marketing, for sure.
Yeah, and you probably are right. Yeah, I think... Yeah, as we'll find out later in the segment how pissed off I am with another particular women's sport here in Australia.
Anyways.
But yeah, no, I just think, look, if AFLW appealed more to me in the sense that I'm happy for girls to be running around on a footy oval, kicking goals and behinds, all that shit. I don't want to watch pylons every 5 fucking seconds.
But I do like scrappiness though, because I'm a scrappy player.
I know.
So you know, I guess it's definitely, you know. What
I know, but yeah, I just need action, and when there's no action, I just go, this is just boring. So, you know, I'm all for AFLW.
Different kinds of action.
I'm all for AFLW being a sport, but it's just not a sport when they play with the same set of rules that the men play by, basically. Though,
do you know what I'm saying? All of these people are playing now never necessarily played AFL growing up. A lot of them come from different sports.
No,
so, I feel like that's, you know.
I get it.
Anyways,
so.
Any last thing in cricket.
Yeah.
Is the Australia v India.
Australia v India.
V India. So...
She means Australia v India.
Yeah, so obviously there was the ball tampering scandal with the Vaseline, which I'm just like...
That was a pisser.
Did you learn nothing from Sandpapergate? Appalling. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time, sadly. But, like, come on.
Yeah.
And doctoring the pitch.
Yeah. And I sent that to you, didn't I?
Yes, as according to reporters on the ground, only the centre of the wicket for the first test was watered and rolled, while the area where bowlers would target left-handers was left bone dry. So I was
and
like,
how many batters did Australia have that were lefties?
Australia have 5 left-handers in the first 7 batters. And I'm just like, that's a bit rude. That's definitely cheating. But because it's India, it's not, you know what I'm saying? If it was us, I feel like...
Again, it probably comes down to the marketing, right? I haven't seen any marketing or promoting for that particular game in India because I think it's just because it's in India. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of the home games in Australia get promoted a shit ton more than...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, comfortably, easily, like, not even close.
No, yeah, for sure.
And so I think because of that, people don't really tune into it. Like, you pay attention to it because you enjoy watching it, right? And you want to watch it all the fucking time.
Oh, still, we lost the first test miserably.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I think we lost by an innings.
That was literally hilarious.
Oh, it was so bad. I was doing better this test. We actually finished the first innings with one ahead. With the second innings, 1 run ahead. Nice. Definitely better than the last test. Improvement. We do have a fair bit to go, but yeah, that's it for cricket. Do you want to talk?
Are you done?
I have other subjects, but did you want to alternate?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll give that a shot. We'll add a bit of a twist this week, eh?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we're kind of winging it a bit, but we kind of have a plan. Compared to normally where she has the plan and I just wing everything.
Yeah. You should be a bird.
Yeah. Okay. I got enough wings to get me through all these segments for the rest of the year, hey?
Gosh. Okay, go.
But yeah, if you've been hiding under a rock, shame on you. Because the Super Bowl happened and you missed all the exciting action. I mean, so did I. I had to watch it all on replay, which is why
I just don't watch Super Bowl.
Literally did not watch the TV until, literally, because, we had to step out because Maria had some coaching to...
Can I tell them about my brother? George?
Yeah.
My brother? Yeah, so my brother was like... I can't watch the NFL because of all the padding.
Yeah, and that's why AFL is better because, we don't wear padding, man.
And then he watched the Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he started playing Madden.
I know. I think this is...
And then he watched the Super Bowl. Oh, and he enjoys watching cricket where they wear padding.
Right, I know. And then he came up with this stupid-ass defense. That's a long story for another time, but it was so funny.
He was like, oh, well, it's a close game and, it's always worth watching a close game or something. It's like, that's a bullshitty... It's like such a bullshit excuse.
Any way to make his point sound.
Honestly. He literally would have been like, oh, look...
Any excuse under the sun, honestly, with George.
He'd literally watch, figure skating if he was like, oh, look, the judges had some really close scores to by that logic. And I don't think he's the kind of guy who would watch figure skating. Not even remotely.
I would, but he wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd watch it for maybe 5 minutes because it is definitely talent to do all those maneuvers. But at the same time...
I also used to dance, though. Do you know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, I feel like I watch the same maneuvers by, all the girls. It's really funny when they stack, though.
Oh, my gosh.
They just, slide into a barrier.
Okay, get to the Super Bowl. Talk about the Super Bowl.
Yes. Sorry, I do like to get distracted. But yes, Super Bowl happened on Monday. Well, actually, Monday here. So Sunday, if you're, somewhere else in the world, apart from New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Oh, they had floods. Cyclone. I think it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not doing too good.
As you can tell, I've been hiding under a rock.
And then Turkey and Siberia had earthquakes.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Multiple, didn't they? It was two earthquakes?
Two in one day.
Yeah. Oh, that's nuts.
It's rough. Anyway, back to the Super Bowl, sorry.
Thanks for distracting me. Pardon me if you can hear the subtle burps that I'm letting out.
It's the alcohol.
It's the alcohol, yeah. I know this isn't like very professional, but we're not getting paid, so I don't give a shit.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. I know you got to drink when you talk about or even watch the Super Bowl, but yeah, no, she had her coaching, so I didn't get to watch all of the game. I watched the first quarter, and then we had to basically piss off.
Yeah, and then when we came back home, I had to turn the TV on. He ran out.
Yeah,
and then I had to change the channel to make sure it was safe for him to come back.
Yeah, I know. I literally put like the soundbar on mute. I'm like, tell me when it's safe to come in. And then we changed it over to put squash on, didn't we?
Yeah, we Chromecast.
Yeah, Chromecast.
And then my brother called me, and as soon as he said Kansas, I was like, shut up. Michael doesn't want to know.
It's like, no. So there. And then I ended up cooking dinner and watching the Super Bowl start to finish, including this halftime show, which was it was pretty bad.
The halftime show is just a lame excuse for a concert.
Yeah, it honestly is. It's just...
I don't even watch the Super Bowl, but I feel like it's just...
I hate it. I really hate it.
It's a little bit overhyped, I feel like.
I really... Like, I didn't mind...
At least, like what I like about the AFL, it's pre-game entertainment.
See, I don't even... I kind of like that, though, because I also know when the first bounce is. Like, first bounce at, 20 past 3. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just turn the TV on at 20 past 3. I don't care about halftime shows or pre-game shows. I really hate them.
I only care about pre-game if it's Delta Goodrum.
Oh, yeah, she did it last year, didn't she?
Yeah,
that's right. Her. Yeah, should probably rewatch that one then, hey?
Yeah. Everyone got mad at Rihanna because she wasn't, energetic.
Yeah, no, she was just...
Even though she was in her second trimester of pregnancy.
I couldn't even tell. Like, I mean, I saw bits and pieces of it,
I feel like sometimes you can tell by the way they dress, because some women like to cover it up, and you sort of saw her trying to cover it up.
Yeah, she kind of did, kind of didn't. She's sort of... It wasn't like...
You can't completely cover pregnant belly.
Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, no, it's like, I actually... The only thing I actually did kind of like was, so to speak, like a fashion choice. Like, compared to the last few Super Bowls where all these ladies have come out wearing skimpy little things, it's like, really? Like, kids watch the Super Bowl, right? Like, that's why America's all fucked.
Anyways.
We are allowed to say that, right?
Yeah, I don't care. Go.
Anyways, but, the Super Bowl was absolutely awesome. I think it was probably one of the best Super Bowls I have watched in a really long time. I had a prediction of... I didn't actually say it on the last episode that we did, but I did put a post out on Insta or something and said 27-31 was my score for the Chiefs. But yeah, no, Chiefs ended up winning that game 38-35, so high scoring and just a real nice back and forth sort of game.
Yeah, so I didn't watch it, but I heard it on the news.
Yeah.
Because I listened to the ABC Listen app.
Yeah.
It was on there. Just like, a comeback apparently.
Yeah, for sure. Down 14 points going into half. Yeah. Sorry, not 14 points. Just 10 points, I believe it was. Going into the halftime show and stuff. But yeah, no, came back to win by 3, which is pretty awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, look, I kind of figured the Chiefs would win. And yeah, honestly, there's a lot of people who, especially like all the Philadelphia fans, would have gone nuts on the last play, basically, with the holding call. But honestly, you can't look at one play, right? Like,
fuck Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm a Pittsburgh girl.
No, it's definitely one of those things, right? Like, with the NFL, people do tend to watch... Like, they tend to remember the last 2 minutes, right? And, yeah, it's like, what do they call it? Like, recency bias or something like that. And it's like... But there were... Like, if you... Like, obviously you didn't watch it, but for those that did watch it who might be listening to our podcast, right? Like, it's... There was that shit in the middle where the umpires literally had no fucking clue what was going on.
Apparently there was a fake, like a ad prank in the middle of the Super Bowl.
An ad prank?
I think that was just America only there.
Maybe, I don't know.
It was like a Tubi something.
Tubi?
TIB. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
it was an ad prank where it was like in the middle of the Super Bowl that it's a streaming service, right?
Yeah, I've heard of Tubi.
Yeah. So it was like in the middle of the Super Bowl, they just the streaming service sort of came on.
Oh, really?
As a prank.
Oh. Oh, yeah. So it was do you remember? Oh no, you probably didn't get it, but like with KO used to do the same thing for what's that green company for the hair loss? The like Monk or something.
Who knows?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not Monk. It's no, it's gonna kill me. But anyways. Yeah, it's a company in Australia that does like hair loss treatment, like Ashley and Martin do that shit, but like it's just a different one. Yeah, I think it starts with an M, and it's got like a greenish sort of vibe about it.
Who knows?
Anyways, they used to do something similar. They used to do like a prank where, like you know how like if you watch like YouTube or something, like there's that little circly sort of buffer logo. They used to like insert that, and then like 5 seconds you'd just be doing that, and like at first it caught me out as well, and I'd be like, oh shit, what the hell's going on, what, you know, and then all of a sudden you hear the commercial come, it's like, hi there, you know, no, nothing's wrong with your TV or any of that crap, and you're just like, you fucking bitch.
Because I remember one time I was watching like late night TV show, I think it was like a talk show.
Oh yeah.
And then I didn't have Foxtel, but for some reason the Foxtel menu came up because the person was sort of messing around.
Oh,
and
God.
then just like, I was like, what is this? How did this even happen? I had like an analog TV at the time, right?
Yeah.
So, so I was like, what? I was looking for the remote, right? It's such an instinctive thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
I know. I was like going to my phone, like, crap, do I need to disconnect from Chromecast and reconnect and all that crap? And then they're just like, see how quickly you were to try and fix your TV? Well, why don't you do the same for your hair? It's just like, don't. And I was just like, that was not clever. That was you being an asshole, and I don't want to go with your products. Oh, but yeah, and so.
Back to the Super Bowl.
Anyways, getting back to the Super Bowl. So there was like literally a play in the middle of, like, I think it might have been the start of the third quarter, and oh my goodness, there was, I think it was Philadelphia who had the ball, and they went, oh crap, okay, we need it. Yeah, it was Philadelphia who had the ball, and they threw it to Dallas Goedert, who was a tight end for Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts threw it, sorry, is what I meant to say. And it was like a bit of a juggling kind of catch on the sideline, and so he went out of bounds, and as he went out of bounds, he actually went back, like, sort of to the bench area, and so by rule, when the player goes to the bench, the officials have to give the defense the same amount of time to match up defensive players accordingly, so to speak, and because, like, he's just come running back in, the officials didn't give that time, so there was that big fuck up with the timing of that play. And so they tried, Philadelphia, because they knew that there was like a juggling catch on the sideline, they tried to do a hurry-up play. So in other words, Kansas City couldn't make a challenge or anything like that. Like, in other words, it just means the play stands without any sort of like, investigation into it. And so because they tried to do a run-up, like a hurry-up play, they wanted to get a play off, and then they're just like stopping the play and all this crap. It was just a mess. And then they're like, everyone was like, what the fuck's going on? And then, like, the official comes on, he's like, we didn't give them time to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then it gave Kansas City a chance to throw the challenge flag and stuff. They didn't get it on it anyways, but, it was just an absolute officiating fuck up.
Sounds like drama.
Oh, it was great. I loved it. I love drama in the Super Bowl. Like, especially, like I say, that last 2-minute play that went against Philadelphia. And, look, to be honest, I think it was a bit of a sort of soft call, but like it's a technical call, so based on the rules of the game I would have called the same thing, but I just think it's in terms of the actual practical nature of how much he was holding him, like, it was hardly anything. It was literally like a feather brushed past him, right? So anyways, but I thought in terms of the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, who I've loved since I watched him in the preseason games when he was the backup to Alex Smith, I thought he was a superstar. So, certainly Super Bowl, he was just phenomenal. He was, and obviously MVP for the game, league MVP for the season. So, but the fact that he injured his foot going into halftime.
I thought it was ankle.
Yeah, okay, sure, it was the ankle. Same thing to me.
It's different. It's a different area. It feels different.
Yeah, okay. But no, everyone knows what I mean by the play for Patrick Mahomes. Okay, yeah, he ran the ball really well. I think it was third and long, I believe, and he ran the ball really well. And I thought that was probably the highlight of the game, to be in pain, in agony, but like that's what I love about like final games, when players literally go, I'm literally going to push myself to a point where I literally want to, like I literally will die on this field if I must in order for my team to win. Like I love watching that. And then Alex, and then I wrote Alex for some reason. Meant to write Andy. Andy Reid was just absolutely phenomenal as a coach. All the plays were just incredibly well thought of. Running short passes, spread. Like there was a lot of spread, I thought, in that game. So, yeah, no, it was good to see. But yeah, I really enjoyed that Super Bowl. So that's my little take on the Super Bowl.
Little take. That's a big take.
Oh, such a bitch. Anyways. I'll hand it back over to Maria, and then there'll be a few other things to talk about.
We talked about NFL.
Yeah.
So, what we need to know is that for the Bulldogs, our leadership group has just, been announced.
Mm-hmm.
So Marcus Bontempelli is skipper again. Shocker. Who knew? Anyway. It's been skipper for the past few years.
I know, I don't know. I just don't. I feel like you need co-captains at the Dogs.
We have a leadership group.
That means dick all. I think you really need co-captains.
No. Anyway,
so when Bontempelli gets injured, which I almost guarantee he will,
the vice captain will step up, and then someone else in the leadership group will be a vice captain.
There should be a co-captain.
No.
I think
anyways, so I like our system. Anyways, I find
enjoy finishing 8th.
I find co-captains weird. I don't like it. Anyway, so I like captain and vice captain, but not co-captains. But anyway, different story for another time. So it's Bontempelli as captain, and then I think it is Jack McRae for vice captain, and then the rest other people in the leadership group is Caleb Daniel, Aaron Norton, and Taylor Dury.
Who?
Taylor Dury.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Okay, well, I can't help that you suck.
I'm still learning people's names, so sorry if I'm a dumbass, but that's what I am. I'm a dumbass.
Oh, I forgot something from the cricket.
Oh, for goodness sakes!
Sorry.
Return to this cricket segment.
So ahead of Australia's second group match at the T20 World Cup, coach Shelley Nitschke, I don't know how to say that, says her side certainly did not take Bangladesh lightly. So Australia is trying to win back-to-back T20 World Cups.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to defend.
Yeah.
Which is great. We've won the Ashes, we've won the T20, and we've won the One Days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a good sort of like...
Yeah.
It's amazing. So our girls do win pretty regularly, if you haven't noticed. So we won our opening match. I think we had a second match. I didn't see how that goes because there's so much sports happening. But yeah, I hope the girls go well. I hope we do defend our title.
Do you think you will?
I feel like we have, yeah.
Yeah?
We're pretty dominant. Like, I don't really see us lose often. Like, maybe once every tournament.
Alright.
So, I mean, it's a test for sure, but like...
I really don't know what any of this really means, though. Sorry, because I'm not really very well versed on cricket.
We hardly ever lose. Like, it's almost close to 100% strike rate, right? Our win rate. It's like one loss a tournament. That's about it.
How many games are there in a tournament?
So group stages is like 5, and then you have 5 or 4? 5, I think. I don't even know. Like 5, and then you have the semi-final. Final. Anyways.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, get back to the AFL. So, Marcus Bontempelli is captain yet again.
Any woo for you? Like, yeah, aren't you going to go, woo?
I mean, we knew this was going to happen.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah. Alright, and yeah, in other AFL captaincy news, which I think is probably like the highlight of what's happening in the news lately, right?
I don't know. I need to think AFL, the news
I'm
corp goes,
now that,
over.
yeah, now that the NFL's over, like, my attention is like AFL, it like really is, right?
Yeah.
And so like I like hearing this stuff about the co-captains.
I hate co-captains, but anyway.
And so, yeah, probably one of the more sort of disheartening news from co-captain related stuff in the AFL is from the Essendon Bombers, where what's his name? Dyson Heppel.
He's like one of my favourites.
He's great.
I like him.
And I really do think that I think that he is quite easily like an Essendon.
He's a great.
Yeah, he's a great. So it's a bit. Obviously, he's still gonna fucking play, but it's just a bit upsetting to hear that he's going to step down. But I mean, he's done it for the last 6 seasons or something. So look, honestly, I kind of get it at the same time.
There's like at some point that you've had enough. I feel like especially, I know in cricket, you see people enter the captaincy stage, loving it, and then at a certain point, it sort of wears them down.
Yeah.
I know in England, Joe Root, he always used to be so bubbly, and then as the years gone by with the captaincy, you kind of saw him sort of like mellow out a little bit, like he wasn't as chirpy as he used to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and he's a cheeky bugger, right? And it's sort of you sort of saw just a little bit of happiness fade. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes it gets to you, and especially because cricket, I find, especially the tabloids, are so hostile. You know what I'm saying? You lose a game, it's like, oh shit, captain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shit, captain. Get a new captain.
Yeah.
Captain shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's so brutal. Just
for sure.
The cricket tabloids, from what I see.
Yeah, I know. It definitely is, right?
It's like it's really hard to miss because it's just everywhere, right? It's talked about on the news, especially. It's hard to escape. So I kind of get it, especially. But I feel like it's probably something similar to with AFL. It's probably not to the same extreme, but it probably still gets to you.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. But I also think that, I feel like with cricket, there's a bit more of like a longevity to cricket than I would say there is AFL.
Yeah, no.
And sort of a similar thing with like comparing like baseball with NFL, right? Like there are guys like almost like in their 50s playing professional MLB. You're like,
you still have a chance.
It's like, dude, like, what? How? What?
Shoot your shot, fam.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Hey, shit. What was his name? The guy that was in, your dad's favorite film, The Rookie. Oh goodness. I can think of Dennis Quaid, but that's just the guy that plays the role. But yeah. Morris. That's it. Morris. Yeah. Shit. So who knows? Maybe I'd like to think that that's possible, but. Honestly, at this point, I just want to hit like over 90 miles an hour. That's all I really want to do. So,
I heard the other thing about that brutal thing about cricket is that there's not really an off season or pre-season. You kind of just play. So you play all summer, and then you go and play like
other hemisphere
the northern
summer.
Yeah. So it's like break. What is that? So like you find that cricket players burn out a lot of the time because it's so constant. Which is, I feel like, something that needs to be fixed a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like it might just be. I think as well, your dad's sort of been explaining like that a lot of like cricket is very sort of traditional.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the rules are very traditional, and I kind of see that as well. Like we were talking the other day, like how the spin bowlers, like, because in order for LBW, it has to be like in line with the, like, if you imagine like lines between the wickets.
Yeah, yeah.
The ball has to bounce between that.
It has to be bowling in
that
pitch.
alley, basically. Yeah.
If it's bowled outside of pitch and hits the wicket, it's still classified as not out.
Even if it hits the wickets.
Yeah, just as long as it's pitching outside, it's just like not done.
So it could bounce outside, hit the wicket, knock the bail off it, and the guy's still standing.
Oh, sorry, I didn't explain. So, like, you know how they do the review system?
Yeah.
In the review system, you know, when they call for LBW.
Yeah.
If it pitches outside...
Oh, yeah, with the ball tracker or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the ball tracker.
Yeah.
If it's pitching outside, then they sort of stop the review and say, not out.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, your dad and I were talking about it. It was like, that's just the dumbest rule. I feel like spin bowlers probably way back couldn't do that, and that's why that rule was there. But now spin bowlers, I reckon, can probably spin a shit ton more than
probably.
what they used to. And I feel like that's just a dated rule.
One of the things that I like that has changed is that normally you need, like, at least in the ball tracker, 50% of the ball to hit the wicket for it to be, like...
At least 50%?
Yeah.
So you can't even have 1% of the ball in the...
Yeah. So
bullshit.
So you need 50% of the ball and ball tracker to be, like, conclusive. Right, and so just say if you get called out and you challenge, and if only like a small percent of it hits, it's called umpire's call. And usually, if it was umpire's call and you challenged it, you'd lose the review. Yeah. But now it's you keep the review.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is more reasonable, I feel like.
Yeah, and like, but I feel
I don't know how you even got to this.
Because we were talking about, I sort of started talking about how cricket's kind of a bit traditional.
Yeah, no, it is.
And look. And I think the rules are still very traditional, even though you may argue that they've changed, like how you get to keep the review sort of thing. But I feel, shit, I'm super burpy at the moment.
No, it's alcohol. But I like that's what I like about it. I like how it's traditional but still laid back. It's not like Wimbledon traditional, but like traditional.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I feel like I say, that LBW rule, I feel like if your leg is in front of the ball and the ball is then sort of deviating, especially if you're a spin bowler, if it starts to deviate back towards the wicket, that's LBW, right? You can't put your fucking foot in front and not be out if it's going to hit the stumps. That's bullshit.
Unless you're my father. And you threaten...
This is a great story.
And threaten the umpire that you're going to bash his head if he calls LBW. Okay? That's it. You do that these days, you get arrested. This was the 70s, 80s, fam.
Yeah.
So easy to get away with this shit.
But yeah, no, I think, Dad's
stories. That is unbelievable. You need to get him on the podcast one day just to tell everyone all of your stories.
Don't you mean over a few episodes worth?
Yeah, this is going to take years.
Yeah. But yeah, he, no, like, and like I say, he and I were explaining, or not explaining, but we were discussing that, and they're like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. And it's a very traditional rule, and I think cricket does have a lot of that tradition to it, like, especially like the Ashes. Like, to me, cricket's very, I feel like, people generally know cricket as being more like an international sort of game, like Australia versus England in the Ashes sort of thing, as opposed to, Big Bash League. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel
like T20
domestically, we know Big Bash League because it's quite commercialized as well, right? But like people in England, I don't think they even would have heard of Big Bash League unless they've got like a paid subscription to a cricket channel. Whatever
like
Britain's
they have
cricket
their
channel
own league, I think.
Yeah, no,
New
have their own
Zealand have
league.
a league. It's called New Zealand's league. It's called Super Smash.
Yeah, no, we watched a bit of that.
And then there was a guy whose last name was Young Husband.
Yeah, Young Husband.
Okay, what a name.
That was hilarious.
So,
but yeah, no, I think like that sort of tradition of like Australia v England, it sort of stays a bit.
Yeah, I love that rivalry. That's a great rivalry. I like winning.
Yeah, no, I get that, but like, I feel like that's probably why it's not set up.
Can I tell you something funny?
It might be why it's not set up.
Yeah.
As well as like what you suggested, like how there's like no off season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what I love about the Ashes?
Go.
You play 5 test matches for a little urn. It's not even a big trophy, it's a little fucking urn. Or this commotion for a little urn.
Lol.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I kind of get it, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, so I feel like we went from AFL captaincy to cricket captaincy.
Yeah,
we've deviated a fair bit.
We went so far left field.
But yeah. Anyways, coming back to the AFL captaincies, look, I do think that co-captains is probably generally a smarter play more often than not.
I don't like it. It's a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But I think when you've got 22 people in your squad, like, I feel like it's needed. I just think, yeah, like in the NFL, like they have offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. But even from that, like on the defense, you've got like the defensive front coordinators, then you've got like the linebackers coach and like the the safeties coach and the corners, basically just the defensive backs coach and shit like that. Like it gets broken down more and more and more and more. There's there's literally more staff, like coaching staff, than there are players. Basically, at the end of the day, it's actually like hilarious. But yeah, no, and I think because of that, I kind of like the idea that there's co-captains, and I think, like, look, I'm going to be kind of brutally honest. I think Richmond's probably set up really well. They've got co-captains this year. There's Dylan Grimes, who's one of the co-captains. I don't know who the other dude is, but
like the only co-captains
I think Dylan Grimes is going to be a really good fit.
The only co-captains I like in the Melbourne Vixens, and that is Kate Maloney and Liz Watson, and they're just friends, so it just works.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like the only time I feel like it's acceptable, but it's but like normally, like especially nobody had just have the one captain, but I guess because they're friends, it kind of works. You know what I'm saying? They have that good connection in the midcourt.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me as well, like, and the other thing as well, like with GWS, they've appointed Toby Green to be their sole captain, and I just think this is going to be an absolute
I've never
flop.
heard that term before, I'm not going to lie, so that means
a flop?
Sole captain, sorry.
Yeah, sole captain, so just a standalone captain.
No vice captain?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I heard that he's just the sole captain, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't, that's what I'm saying, I'm a bit confused by this.
I feel like I heard him, look, I'm just going by what I heard off the news. I didn't actually read any of this crap, I just heard it on the news, but I feel like they said, like, standalone or sole captain, something like that, so.
Just a captain. Anyway.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know if there's like a vice or a leadership group or whatever there is, but if there is, I'm not aware of it.
No, I'm not aware of it too. All I heard was sole captain, nothing else. It's like, where's the leadership group? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I'm a bit lost with this one.
But yeah, and I just think that, look, I think GWS should have tried to get.
Okay, but why Toby Green? Why Toby Green?
Look, in all honesty, he is an athlete.
He's a bit of a punk.
He is a punk, but he's an athlete. Like, it's like Antonio Brown from the NFL. Like, he was like, Brady did not want to work with him in the end because he was just being a bit of a pain. Right, but and like
did you kick people in the face though?
He threw a Ben. He threw a Ben.
He threw a Ben.
He threw a ball at Pittsburgh quarterback Ben Roethlisberger a couple of years ago. Apparently, and I'm like apparently it was like out of spite or something like that. And I'm just like, bro, like that's your quarterback. Like, why are you throwing it at him? Do you know what I mean?
Anyways.
But no, I feel like GWS probably should have made the move for a veteran player to also be a co-captain. Because I don't really see Toby Green as being mature enough for
No, same.
for
Yeah.
the captaincy position.
I
I feel like it from an athletic perspective, he is really he would be a good captain.
Like, I hate that he's good, but he's good.
Yeah, he is good.
I don't like him, but he's good.
I like the fact, like, I always like it when athletes can go in and change the game, and like, I don't like the fact that there was the eye gouging incident with Toby Green.
Kung Fu fighting. He
like,
kicked with 3 different people in the face.
Kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, and like, there was one, I think they changed that rule that he couldn't like do the kicking thing.
After 3 times, yeah.
But there was one instance, I think it was the one instance in particular where he did it, and I actually didn't mind it because he literally went out straight leg, and I was like, you can't you can't hurt someone. If someone runs into that, it's their fucking fault, right?
Yeah.
But like when he, if he was to like flex his leg, then extend it to like drive it into someone's guts, then I'd be like, yeah, you can't do that, bro. Like that's just a dick move.
Yeah.
I
don't like.
But like he was such an athlete to do it that he actually had, like, his skill changed the game, right? It literally changed the rules of the game.
Yeah,
you can't do this.
Yeah, but it's like, he's great, but I just don't like him.
Yeah, no, and I don't think, like I say, I don't think he's mature enough for the group.
This is a bit controversial.
He definitely is. And like I say, I think that the idea that, he can't do that particular move, I think is a bit harsh. Because like I get if he was kicking someone, it makes sense, but he wasn't really kicking anyone. He's just going out. The one time I saw him do it, he just went straight legged out, and I feel like that doesn't do much, right? Like it actually puts him at a less balanced position and all that kind of crap, right? Like you have to be tremendously athletic to mark a ball in that position, and shit, he did it, right? So. That's just how I see that, but yeah, no, he is, like I say, athletically he's gifted, but I just don't think he has that leadership role about him and I don't see GWS really going anywhere this year.
He just looks like a rich boy.
I mean, honestly though.
He does. Yeah. He looks like a rich boy, an entitled rich spoiled brat. That's what he looks like.
So
that's why I want to punch him in the face.
Anyways. Yeah, have you got any more things that you want to talk about, Beb?
So we had the Melbourne Vixens. So we had the Bound for Bendigo weekend wrap. That was, I think, last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we Vixens played 2 games.
Yeah.
So one against the Lightning. We got defeated 55-66, so 11 points. But it's also just pre-season, so you're trying to use your younger players and feel shit out, right? So it's like I'm taking with this.
No, it's the same thing with the NFL. Like yeah.
Oh yeah, always just any sport.
Any professional sport pre-season means dick all.
Honestly, I don't really.
It's just for looking at the prospects. That's basically all it is.
Basically, yeah. And then the Vixens defeated the Giants 74-51, so it wasn't a total loss. Like, I mean, it's preseason, but you want to get some confidence, right?
Total loss that they won, didn't?
I said it's not like like the all together. Like
collectively, all those games. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I know what I'm saying, because it's preseason, but you want to get some confidence.
Yeah.
Out of it.
For sure.
But yeah, and then with that, there is the Suncorp Team Girls Cup coming up on the 24th of February to Sunday the 26th of February at Gold Coast Sports and Leisure Centre. So it's like it's like more pre-season, but like in a tournament format.
Yeah.
So.
I getcha.
Yeah. It's in Queensland. I'm not going because I don't have the money.
For sure.
I have a tournament anyways. And then, with the last part of women's sports, the Matildas.
Australia's soccer team.
And women's.
Did I just butcher that? I think I did. The Australian soccer team, not the, whatever I said, the Australia Sicken team, or term or something, whatever I said.
Anyway, so...
Forgive me, guys, it's the JBs.
So the Cup of Nations is being played. So this is like a warm-up to the World Cup being played later this year.
Yeah. I sort of saw it. I didn't really watch it because I was like, ugh, I hate them. Sorry, guys. Sorry, ladies. I do hate you. You stole the baseball field that was like the best in all of Victoria, and you turned it into a soccer pitch. So, fuck yous. Yeah.
So, we play the Czech Republic first.
Mm-hmm.
And we won for love, even though in the first half we were kind of shaky.
Mm-hmm.
I think the coach was just... I don't really watch a lot of women's soccer, but I heard that the commentators were saying that they were sort of like... They weren't as connected, but I guess that's just because the coach was trying to try something different, you know?
Which coach?
Matilda's coach.
Okay.
And it's like, we actually, because I was listening to the news and it's saying how there's a big difference between how many minutes the Matildas get to how many like minutes that sort of like the up and coming start, you know.
Oh, okay.
Up and coming
yeah.
people get in like international games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that was something that the coach wanted to, you know, fix a bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you have all the great players, right? But it's like you're not giving anyone else a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like I feel like that's probably, you know,
no, I get
something that was happening on field.
Oh no, I feel like you still want to keep. Look, you know me. I don't really like soccer. I don't think it's, to me, it's not a sport. But I know to you, you think it's a sport. And I think if I were to compare this to say something like the AFL or the NFL, obviously you want to keep your starters, like your superstars, healthy, right? You don't want to leave them out there the entire time and be like, oh, you got injured, so guess what? You can't hit the gym for the next 5 months, right? It's a setback, really. So, yeah. There is that dynamic that needs to be thought of.
Our next game is against Spain, but the thing there's a lot of shit happening with women's soccer teams. So this is not even the best team that Spain can put out, because a lot of the top athletes for Spain are sort of boycotting the event because they have they don't like their coach. So they don't like, a lot of them don't like their coach, so they're sitting this one out. So it's not even the best team.
Yeah, no,
so, yeah. And I'm just like, it's just an issue with the federation.
Is there an issue with the coach? Like, do they just think like sexist or something? Or
it's an issue. I don't know the full story, but it's an issue with the coach. Okay. It's an issue with the coach. And there's a thing with Canada, right? It's something about the pay or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
It's just like, so like, you know, when they came here, they sort of wore their shirts inside out.
Yeah.
In protest.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the full story is behind that. I'm sure because I did a thing on this in year 12. We had to do a speech, and mine was about, you know, like the women's pay in soccer, and a lot of them, they make similar money to me, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? It's shit pay. I feel like they want to make some more money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I totally think if you're doing something to represent your country, no matter what it is, really, I think there has to be something.
Live off it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like
the bare minimum.
If you're going to die doing whatever it is, whether it's sport or, say, even, you know, get involved in the military, you don't want to be like, oh yeah, I did it as a volunteer. I voluntarily died.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You want to at least get some form of income for it. I just turned into Joe Biden. Anyway, like, you know what I mean? But like, I feel like that's something that a lot of the women's athletes want, but they're not particularly getting at this point.
Yeah, and like.
And I feel like as a squash player, we're always fighting for it, right? You know, I mean,
I just feel, like, even some of the local squash tournaments, like the PSA squash tournaments, just like, because some of them are like, what, 5-10K events? Is that same for? Do you know if it's the same for the men or not? Or
yeah. Oh, where squash is equal.
Squash is equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, even if you're a dude playing Aussie squash, you know, like
it's
trying.
Shit pay.
It's still shit pay,
it's like
right?
$100 a game,
and it's like you're literally considered professional if you're on the PSA tour.
Yeah, and then $1,000 if you actually win.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. That doesn't cover flights and accommodation.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, right? So
it pays back the membership
and
I
like,
had to pay for, but like it doesn't pay for everything. And like you're making a loss, basically.
Yeah, honestly, and like I totally get as well, like, you know, when you've got a sport like squash, which is a sport, by the way, like, for professional standard, at least front the fucking hotel costs and stuff. And like I understand as well, like, you know, you can only provide so much money as to what you're bringing in. You only bring in what, you know, what people want to watch, right? And like,
I know.
You know, squash like just doesn't.
That's the hard part, right?
Yeah, exactly. And and I guess ideally, I would like for this podcast, should it ever get to be as big as it could possibly be, is for people to get sort of a better recognition for something like squash, right?
Yeah. And it's like it just like I empathize with the women's soccer players, right? Because it's just like I get shit pay, but I don't necessarily travel outside of Australia, so it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm struggling even just traveling inside of Australia.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Imagine how they're struggling.
Yeah, really.
Having to travel outside.
I know.
Of their own country. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so.
Yep. You?
So me, is it? Alright,
yes.
Awesome. Yeah, and like I said, I kind of get that whole empathy with, you know, the female soccer players and stuff. Now, I'm not going to be marching the streets and turning my fucking shirt inside out, all that sort of stupid shit. Like, you're wasting your time, right? Like, honestly, you could literally be doing work and getting paid for it.
Yeah, I know.
But no, I get it. I do get it. In terms of like pay gap and like I do hear that stuff, and I'm just like, I just don't think that's really.
Yeah, because men get jobs as doctors, whereas females get jobs as women doctors.
Yeah, I know, that was a great one, wasn't it? If you haven't seen that meme, you need to check it out. It's pretty good.
Funny.
It was so good. And so yeah, in the coming, so nothing really.
I feel like equal pay has to be earned.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
for sure. I don't think you can have.
I feel like you shouldn't have to try to earn a livable wage.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I totally get like if the men, like for instance, men's squash, if like each event was like a 100k event, but the girls were still like, you know, 10k. But like if they only televised the men's games and people only went to watch the men's games, it would make sense why they're earning it as well.
Yeah, but I guess, you know,
it's still kind of a dickish move to still be like, okay, girls, you're only gonna get, you know, maybe a couple grand if you win.
But what I like about squash is, right, it's men's and women's are played under the one organising body.
Yeah, for sure. I know that is good.
And it's always, unlike tennis, the men and women's grand final is played on the same day, back to back.
Yeah.
Right, so you have the women's final, a break, and the men's final.
I know.
And then you have a whole trophy presentation for both.
Yeah. And I think the other thing as well, people, it's so, like tennis, there's so much money in like the Grand Slam tournaments, right? But they get days off. You don't even get days off.
No, we play consecutively.
I know, you play consecutive days. It's literally fucked. Like, tennis players, you have nothing compared to squash players. Like, honestly, you really don't. Squash players easily train harder.
Yeah. No, it's very, yeah, like I said, it's, like, I wish squash had more recognition. I wish every squash player got more pay.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You got soccer players, the men's soccer players that get
goodness,
paid
that's
like
fucked.
30 million a year or something like that.
Didn't Ronaldo sign like 200 something million or something?
Yeah, something like that.
He signed a ridiculous contract.
I'm just like, give me some of that money.
Honestly. Honest to fuck.
What'd you do with that much money? What'd you do with that much money?
Honestly, I know.
Get a house of gold? Like, I don't know.
I know. But yeah, hopefully this tournament, not this tournament, this podcast, especially since you're part of the PSA tour,
yeah.
I like that we can kind of communicate, like, should there be a listener out there that lives in Victoria and be like, oh, hey, guess what, tournament in Bendigo, tournament in Geelong, it's like, oh shit, that's like, 5 minutes drive away from me, perfect,
Yeah.
Shit, I got something to do this weekend, right? And like, if you do actually go to PSA games, shit, they are good, right? Like, it's not like you're watching, like, it's not like you're watching me play. That'd be pretty bad.
Sadly.
Yeah, but yeah, if you watch, like, if you watch Maria she can play. That's for sure. You can play, babe.
Thank you.
And I fucking hate it because you make me run around like a mad fucking dog.
That's my job.
You're a bitch. Just play... I was going to say play left-handed, but you are
left-handed. Left-handed, yeah. I know. I'm doing exactly what you're telling me to do.
But yeah, anyways, so in the coming weeks for this podcast, I probably will start also talking about the upcoming MLB scheduled season, with the season first game beginning on March 31st, apparently, according to Google. So, and that sounds about right. I think the season always starts around mid to late March. So yeah, there's just MLB is the worst. It's got the longest preseason ever. It's literally like a good month and a half, 2 months, and you're just like, do you really need this much fucking preseason? Yeah. Honestly. So
let's go to squash.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I'm not going to be watching any of the MLB games regular season, but basically when the NFL season starts up, I'll be tuning into the MLB just to watch that last part, especially where like all the, the wild cards are fighting out in those last few games of the regular season to make it to the playoffs. Yeah.
So in squash, we had the Pro Squash Classic in Detroit from the 7th to 11th of Feb. Detroit. I can't even say. So, actually, we had a little bit, not really an upset, but a dark horse. We had Olivia Feicher win against Georgia Kennedy in the final, 3-1. So it was 11-7, 11-5, 6-11, 11-9.
Oh, last game tight. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of expected probably Georgia Kennedy to win because she's a very physical player. She chases, she runs everything down, she has good shots.
Yeah.
I
know, now that the NFL's over, I'll probably try and get a bit more squash TV into my routine over the next few weeks, just so I'm up to date with it.
Yeah, so I was like, I think this is her first silver event, I think this is. Mm-hmm. So this is like one of her first ever major...
what's a silver event? Explain that to me.
So, I don't know how to explain it. So you have like the challenger events, like what I'm playing right now.
Yeah.
And then you have the so if you go from tiers, right?
Yeah.
You have the platinum, gold, silver, bronze.
Yeah.
And then everything else.
So what does that mean? Are you bronze? Is that what that means?
No, this is below bronze.
Blonde bronze?
This is below bronze.
Okay. Alright, so...
It's just challenger. It's not really like a bronze event.
Oh, okay.
So the more upper you go, so like platinum events, there's more prize money.
Yeah. Okay. Is it really just the prize money that's different? Like, obviously...
End points you win from.
Oh, yeah, because you guys go on points, that's right, yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense.
So it's like, at the moment I'm getting, 9 points for a win, whereas they're getting 500 points for a win.
If you did a platinum or something?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, that's awesome.
Right, I know. I know.
See how exciting squash can be? Like, that's what you want.
And then after that, we had the Pittsburgh Open. Pittsburgh. And Diego Alias won that very convincingly 3-love against Moran Al-Shabaki. It was 11-5, 11-7, 11-2. Got annihilated.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, nah. It sounds like Elias has been really like hot lately though, hasn't he? He's been winning a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely been up and coming. Yeah,
yeah,
a little bit.
And how old is he? Because he looks young to me. I reckon.
Wait, hold on. I don't even know.
Here, I got a phone. I can Google it. But Maria will keep talking. She's not going to leave the microphone on dead silent.
Yeah, so he's 26.
26. Yeah. See, babyface.
You're older than you.
Not quite a year. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know when his birthday is.
If he turns 27 before, mid-May, yeah, sure.
Okay. Anyway, there were another 2 tournaments that happened.
Ooh, Calgary, Canada. Sorry, I just saw the location for the upcoming Feb 13 to Feb... Oh, no,
it's already finished.
It's already finished. Lol.
Yeah, so the Bahal
Oxford
and
Properties
Gaynor...
Canadian Men's Open 2020.
Okay, can I please talk?
No.
The Bahal and Gaynor Cincinnati Gaynor Cup.
Yeah.
Right? It's very gay. So Noran Gohar won that in the finals against Olivia Klein, which is another up-and-coming American.
Yep. But you're going up against Goa, like, she dominates.
Oh
my goodness.
But
she put up
quite a bit of a fight. It's 12-11 for the first one.
12-10 it says.
Oh, sorry, 12-10, sorry. And then 11-8, 11-6.
Like, that's pretty good.
Against Gohar.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good effort.
That is. I actually... You know what? We're going to watch this. I need to watch that game. Because if that other lady's actually an upcoming star, I wouldn't mind seeing what she has. Because Goa can really control the court really well.
Yeah, no, she is.
So
I definitely lose. I definitely get bageled. I get bageled easily in 5 seconds. A game would last 5 seconds.
I know.
It'd be the quickest game in history.
Yeah, it'd be like me playing Rex. Like Rex would just... Rex would clean me up.
Oh, so quickly, yeah.
Yeah. Rex, if you are listening, do not challenge me, please. Like I know that, the squash courts that you're at, they're nearby to me, and when I'm there and you're there, just don't bring it up, please.
Anyways,
it's just a point for this podcast.
So you have a few upcoming. We have. I don't know any Americans on the men's side, but there's it's 4 I know of, and the women's side.
Yeah.
So Amanda Sobey, Sabrina Sobey, sisters.
Oh, really? They're sisters.
Sisters.
I didn't know there was a. There's. I know Amanda. There's
and Sabrina.
Sabrina. Okay.
And then you have
the teenage witch.
Olivia. Oh no. Olivia Clyde. Olivia Feicher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that one.
I think those are the only ones I know.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of Amanda, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sobey. And I've also
she's a left-hander, so I like her.
Of course. And then I've heard of Olivia Feichter. Again, from whenever I said it last time, tell us how to pronounce your name. It's just too awkward. Yeah. I feel like an idiot every time.
Same. So we had for the men's, we had the Oxford Properties Canadian Men's Open.
In Calgary, woo! If you ever get the chance, people, if you're listening and you've never been to Calgary, it is nice.
And Joel Macon.
Joel Macon
Macon Bacon. From Wales, which is the
shake,
coolest,
and bake.
From Wales, which is the coolest flag ever, by the way. He won against Victor Curran. Mm-hmm. Curran. I can't pronounce.
It's French. Oh, it's French, so it's probably Croissant.
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 Anyways, he won.
I'm going to call him that from now on, Victor Croissant.
What have I started anyway? So Joel won 11-9, 11-4, 6-11, 12-10.
Okay, so apart from that middle bit, which was a bit of a shit show, the start and the end were pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, pretty good. Wales. What a nice flag.
Yeah, it's a pretty good flag.
And every other flag is just boring in comparison. Anyways, that is it.
Yeah.
For
awesome.
Me.
Anyways.
Oh no, we had to check. And sorry, can't wait to ice hockey standings.
Yeah, sure. Bring it on. And then we'll have one last thing to talk about.
Okay, because we watched the Penguins v Ducks.
Oh, goodness.
We killed them. Oh, we lost in overtime to the Islanders. Does that overtime? No, it's not. That's just regular time. I'm a dumbass. No, how do you do that?
What?
We got 1 and then 3-0. They got 1-2-2. Oh, we're first in wildcard position. Nice.
Nice.
We haven't even played as many games as the rest. Besides Buffalo. Like New York Islanders are second. They've played 58 games and we still have a better percentage. And the same amount of points. What is that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Pittsburgh can still make playoffs. Obviously. Just keep hanging there in that wild card position, fam.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep it going.
But yeah, and then I guess just to sort of finalise this week's episode of the podcast, which went a shit ton longer than we really expected it to, so...
Could you talk a lot?
I was trying to talk about the NFL and you just brought up all this crap about all this commercial fake promo shit and whatever.
Yeah, no.
Anyways,
I haven't seen it, but on TikTok, there was this guy, a Cowboys fan, that got so mad that his team lost, so he punched the TV screen and broke it. I'm like, look, like, I know you're passionate, but that's frightening.
I would say Cowboys fans are wild.
Like, if you do that, I'd probably go for a drive away from you for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until that you cool down.
Bitch, I'm fucking cool, alright?
No, because I'd fear for my safety if you did that.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
I know, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if you're so mad that your team lost that you punched the TV,
yeah,
I'd fear for my safety. I'd probably go to Mum's.
Yeah, and so I guess just to sort of finish up on this week's episode, you have a tournament next weekend, don't you?
Yes, in Geelong.
In Geelong. How are you feeling? You excited for it?
I like Geelong. I play well in Geelong.
That's good to hear. Yeah. And like, why do you think you play well? Is it like the courts or something? Or do you just get like good vibes going through Geelong?
No, I just like it. It's like, because I started juniors late, right? I started at the age of 15.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of catching up to do, but like, my last ever junior tournament, which was in Geelong, that was my first time I ever won first place.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. So I guess, yeah, because you've just won it, you kind of feel good walking in there. You're like,
yeah, and
defending champion, bitch.
I've also won a senior event, not PSA, but a senior event there too.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. So I can win there.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear.
Yeah. And it was also the last AJC I've ever played.
Yeah.
In Geelong. So good memories.
Awesome. And how do you feel in terms of like preparedness?
Yeah, it's a bit shaky because I'm doing a new technique now with my swing. And it's just doing my head in.
Which technique is this? Is this Coach 1 or Coach 2?
Like both. It's
both?
It's like undercut, but it's all sort of relatively like not a large swing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a very compact swing, but it's like it's very. I have to think about it too much.
Nah, fair enough. Yeah, okay. And have they put out the draws yet? Do you know? Or
I haven't checked.
Haven't checked? Okay.
So I have to enter to keep a ring.
Yeah. No, I will do that. But yeah, so oh my goodness, sorry. The alcohol is making me slightly mellow.
Weak.
Yeah, and with obviously with Geelong, like, do you find that the competition is generally tougher or easier? Like, how would you describe it?
No, I feel like the people that have entered in, it's a tougher competition that is going to be than the mountain districts for sure.
Yeah.
But it's all a challenge, and I guess it's good to see where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure. And you might even, I guess, with having done the I was going to say Melton District. The Mountain District. The Mountain District. Obviously, some of those girls that you have played will probably be there as well, right? So...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the fact that you will be coming up against that probably fairly similar competition is kind of good, because obviously you've played them, you kind of get a feel for what they want to do and so on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, and as your coach, because I think your coach says he wants to be there for Geelong, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So, and you generally feel alright when your coach is there as well, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just trying to figure out where this is on the list.
Oh, they clearly don't care.
Yeah, obviously.
Can you search in the page for just Geelong? Oh, there it is.
Unpublished. Yeah, no, they
Unpublished.
haven't put out the draws
Lol.
yet. So...
All good.
Yeah, so
but can you find out who's entered?
Me, Emily, Joanne, Courtney, Sophie, Karina, and Lauren.
Alright, so you know a few of them.
I know all of them.
Okay, well, I kind of know a few by their name. Okay. And was Courtney one of the ones that you played at Mountain?
She's the one I played last.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She was fresh. I was still fatigued from my match before.
Yeah, 2 hours before.
Which was very rude. It's not her fault, but still rude.
Mountain Districts, you heard that from Maria. It was rude.
Yeah, so there's 8 players, which is good.
Oh, you've got 8?
Yes.
That's pretty exciting. That's not bad, really, so...
So we had the Women's Classic, which I'm assuming is for everyone that goes out first round.
Yep.
Which is what I like about Geelong, right? Because not everyone does it.
Yeah.
For PSA events, especially Challenger events. No one... Some you just play and then you're out.
Yeah.
But some actually make a played event.
Yeah.
And Geelong always does that. Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So that's like one of the things I like about Geelong.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So yeah. It was... Yeah, so... Yeah, there might be additional money for the played events too, so...
Perfect.
All good.
Anyways, anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No? Alright. We'll see if we can fit one in next week. Hopefully I'm kind of thinking we'll try and get it in by next Friday, like record it well and truly early in the day.
Yeah.
And then have
it done.
I don't
know what happened. Well, I know what happened today. Today was a bit wild.
Yeah, for sure. Do not ask. Just don't ask.
You're not going to tell them?
No.
It's a pretty emotional day.
Anyways. So I think that's it for us this week, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, so with that being said, everyone, thanks for listening. This has been your daily serve of M&Ms. See you next week.
See you next week, guys. Sorry, I had to say something at the end.